Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
It's opening day for the Reimagine Auto Show in Pontiac. Motorbella officially opens to the public today. Plus, it could be a game-changing move in the fight against COVID-19. The FDA authorizing booster shots of Pfizer's vaccine, and now a CDC panel is set to vote on just who should receive the shot. But we begin with breaking news this noon from the city of Flat Rock. That is where residents living in Zone 1 near Ford's assembly plant have finally been given the all clear to return to their homes. It comes after several days of testing and analyzing air quality and sewers. Earlier this week, residents in Zone 1 or Zone 2, I should say, were allowed to return home. We'll have more on later editions of Local 4 News there from Flat Rock. Now to the other top story this noon. And that is the weather. As it is cold outside, it's still rainy and just dreary out there across Metro Detroit. September can be one of those months where it can be great and it can be miserable. So let's get to meteorologist Brandon Roos so we can see if we can turn things around after the last couple days of rain.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit of both, Rhonda. A little bit of the great, little misery, a lot of misery in a short amount of time, and that's what causes the flooding. Heavy rain, short amount of time, and this is residual rain, much lighter than the last couple of days, but you know, insult to injury kind of thing. Just in the last hour, we've seen light showers blossoming over southern Ontario, Wayne County downriver there. We have flood warnings for the Clinton River, Rouge River, Huron rivers until further notice. So that means not really sure when they're going to recede. They continue to fill and crest. Turn around, don't drown. Don't mess with standing water. Upper 40s to low 50s. This could be a pipe dream at this point to get middle upper 50s today. Still have some rain showers coming and going, not only through the afternoon, but into the evening as well. So be prepared. Keep the umbrella handy. And hate to say it, Rhonda, but it's jacket weather as well out there.
Mm-hmm. I know. I know because I've been out there and it's been cold. Like I need to bundle up a little bit. Right now, the other big problem, of course, is the power outages. 77,000 DTE customers without power due to all the high winds and also the rain. They have about 1,300 crews out working to get everybody restored. DTE says overall about 136,000 customers were impacted, and one of those areas hardest hit by the storms is the city of Port Huron, and that is where we find Victor Williams this noon. And Victor, I understand you just received an update from city officials on the efforts to get that power restored there. How's everything looking up there?
Oh, well, about 30,000 people are still without power right here in Port Huron, Rhonda. And take a look at this. This is part of the reason why. This is one of the huge trees that has fallen down. Many of them right here in the city. A lot of them happening right here in the limits. But this is just huge, guys. Walk with me so you can see the extent of where it has fallen down. We're talking about 40-mile-per-hour sustained winds with wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, causing a lot of these trees to fall right here on the power lines, guys. And so we're told that you guys should stay away from the power lines. And you can see it's roped off right here, but there might be trees that have fallen on power lines that have not been roped off officially, guys. So that is one thing that the fire chief is reminding you to do. Take a listen.
Over the course of the next couple days, stay clear of any down power lines. Assume that all wires are live, regardless of the fact if they are arcing or not. If you encounter a down wire that has not been marked with seam tape or safety barrier tape, call 911 and report the condition to St. Clair County Dispatch. The fire department will respond. If you are experiencing a brownout condition in your home, which means that the lights are flickering, lights are only partially illuminating, it's important for you to turn off your main breaker on your panel. That will protect your home's electrical system and your appliances. If you smell smoke or hear popping or hear arcing electrical inside your home, call 911.
And we're told that 60% of the power outage should be restored right here by the end of the day in Port Huron, 95% by Friday. Victor Williams, Local 4. Back to you.
All right, Victor, thank you. And that is unbelievable, the size of that tree that went down. The FDA is giving the green light to COVID vaccine booster shots, but it only applies to people who have gotten the vaccine made by Pfizer for now. We know that seniors and those at high risk will be eligible for that extra dose. And later today, a CDC panel will decide who else can get it. Stephanie Goss has more from New York.
Millions of Americans who got the Pfizer vaccine now qualify for a booster, says the FDA. The qualifications are 65 and older or at high risk. That includes people who work at hospitals or grocery stores. Teachers as well could qualify, but they can't come down to vaccination centers like this one just yet. The CDC has to release additional guidance. Also, this does not mean that people who got the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines can get a booster, which could lead to some confusion, which there has been a lot of confusion since last month when the Biden administration said boosters would be widely available to every adult. And since then, an unknown number of people have gotten unauthorized boosters. Doctors telling us that they're getting calls from patients asking how they can, quote, game the system to get this shot. But this is important news for Americans this morning as well. We have new case numbers, including the fact that NBC News data tells us that we passed the peak of this latest surge fueled by the Delta variant last week. 7 out of the last 8 days, case numbers have gone down. That's the longest sustained decline in 3 months. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News, New York.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. Now to a Local 4 update. A 15-year-old Taylor High School student arrested for threatening a security guard and bringing a loaded gun to school. He will now face a judge this afternoon. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy tells us that the boy will be charged as a juvenile. He's facing charges of carrying a concealed weapon, threatening violence against a school employee, and possessing a weapon at school. It's believed Wednesday morning the boy threatened to shoot the security guard who told him to return to class. The University of Michigan Board of Regents meeting in person today for the first time since February of 2020, over a year ago, and they may be in for some fireworks today. This as survivors of sexual abuse at the hands of former University Dr. Robert Anderson are planning to attend that meeting. They are not on the agenda, but over the last year and a half, while the meetings were virtual, survivors could speak to the board, though were not allowed to reveal their identity, which they expect to change today. The Board of Regents meeting is scheduled to start at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and Local 4 cameras will be there. It's a big day in Pontiac, as we've been talking about all week. Motorbella opens to the public, that reimagined auto show taking place outdoors, which means it's subject to the elements and the rain we had the last couple of days. It's at the M1 Concourse in Pontiac, and despite the weather, Rob Maloney is out there once again live today with a look at how things are going to kick off the public day.
Well, Rhonda, we're dry, and that's the good news. It's a little chilly out here if you are tied to that summertime weather, but if you put on a jacket, it's great. And in fact, we only had a little bit of a drizzle here this morning, and people have been coming in sizable numbers. I mean, they're not packed, it's not out the door, but there are a lot of people here coming out to check out the auto show. Let's take a look at what we've been watching here this morning. And one of the things that we can tell you is that a lot of people have been here, especially since the early morning hours, as they were trying to make sure that the event is ready for people. And so, like, for instance, that Ford tent that went down yesterday is still here. They decided to just leave it where it was because there's going to be too much work to take it out. But they're trying to get to a lot of the ride and drive events that haven't been available up and running. The Jeep and Ram drive is not quite ready yet, but there is stuff running on the inside of the auto show, the Bronco ride and so forth. A lot of people here looking to have a great time and enjoy an auto show for the first time in 2.5 years. Now, Frank Buscemi is the guy who is the spokesperson for Motorbella. We also had a chance to talk to Earl Perry, a Pontiac resident, to get their reaction to where we stand this time at noontime.
We're getting there. We got everything cleaned up. The team did a phenomenal job to get open today. We've got people on the property walking through the exhibits. The track will be running. The Bronco exhibit will be running. A lot of work was done to get the place cleaned up and dried out as much as we could. The weather cooperated to the point where we could get things dried out. We're working on the off-road area right now, and we'll have that ready for the weekend.
The show is nice. Unfortunately, the weather stopped a lot of things, but we out here and we enjoying it. The food, we just got some food, so we're gonna taste it and see how it is.
A lot of different trucks out here, the food trucks certainly, and as you look here, they've got a vacuum truck that is going to be pulling the water out of the lagoon that formed on the inside of the Jeep and Ram event here. They've got some earth-moving equipment, and the hope is that they can get the thing back in shape and get the vehicles running here, if not today, by the start of tomorrow. But again, a lot of people out here, a lot of people enjoying it. We'll have more coming up on Local 4 News at 5 and 6. Reporting live from Pontiac, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Sounds good, and it's just going to get better day after day, at least in the weather department, which the experience should as well. Looks like Rod's having a good time out there. Thank you, Rod. He's got a lot of friends in the automotive industry. Still to come, police continue to search for the fiance of Gabby Petito. New at noon, we will have the very latest on the investigation down in Florida. And new controversy at the border in Texas. What we are learning about Haitian migrants camped in a small Texas border town that are being released in the United States.